Hey folks, welcome back to another Pokemon Master video. So this is gonna be a way too early guide for the Legendary Gauntlet because obviously it's not out yet. But I thought I'd still do this just because it's around 20 days away before it drops, and I think folks should probably at least try to prepare a bit first, because how well you do in the Legendary Gauntlet, a lot of that depends on how prepared your units are, right? And the specific units that you have to again make some of this work, right? So again, that's why I thought I'd do this one first, right? Again, there's a lot of small details that we still don't exactly know how the Legendary Gauntlet works, but as best as I can, right? This is how I understand how it's going to work. So it's going to have three different legendary arenas up at the same time, right? And you have to beat them. And every time you win one, it gives you an additional, added to the win streak. And the more win streaks you get, the better rewards you get, right? So yeah, I think the win streak goes up to, I think, 11 or 12, and then afterwards it's just gonna be the same rewards, which if you still keep on getting win streaks, you'll still get rewards. It's not like you're still gonna get 5-star power-up tickets and lucky cookies, right? 3-star lucky cookies, but it won't be like as good as like the earlier rewards where you get like 50 5-star power-up tickets, all that stuff, or 3 of each of the lucky. You're not going to be getting as good rewards, but you still be getting rewards every time you beat that. So, to me, it seems like the wording of what we have from information on the Legendary Gauntlet so far seems to be that it's kind of going to be like a Champion Stadium, where after you beat a stage, you can't use that team again, right? If you beat a Legendary Arena, you can't use that team again. Regardless if you win or not. So that means no, you probably wouldn't be able to infinitely farm the 5-star power-up tickets. However, you should be able to infinitely farm the 3-star lucky cookies, which are the new ones. Those are like incredible lucky cookies, right? So you do those by getting win streaks, and every time you beat you beat a stage, the higher the win streak, the higher the drop chance of the lucky cookie is. So you could farm lucky cookies like that, right? And it seems like if you lose, or if you can't continue any further, you could reset the thing and then start the win streak again. But it just resets the drop rates for the lucky cookies. You won't be getting the win streak clear rewards, most likely, right? Most likely you won't be getting the win streak clear rewards. You're just getting the cookies with the the different drop rates, right? The higher the win streak is, the higher the drop rates for the cookies, right? I think at one point you get like guaranteed at least 1-star cookies from the drops, so it does seem like you can infinitely farm the cookies at least, right? But again, not the 5-star power-ups. So in terms of what's so difficult about this, right? If you're wondering, because you think Legend Arenas, they're kind of whatever at the moment. Like even the hardest one, which is probably, I don't know. None of these are. Maybe Moltres? But they're all like really easy, right? They're really easy. You just run your strongest, super effective units against them, solid support, and boom, you easily clear the stage. The hard part is, again, after you use a team, you can't use it again. So you have to plan your teams out accordingly, where you can maximize your number of wins, right? Maximize the number of wins with the limited amount of units you have, because everyone has limited amounts of units, right? You can't have it. No one has infinite units. Even me, I don't have infinite units. I only have however many I have, which is let's see, how many do we have right now? I don't have all the units. I still have the BP Master Fairs, all that stuff. So 192 over here, right? And so around like at max, right? At max, if you have like everything, probably around 200 units. So you need to use those 200 units and beat, however many times that you can. And it's not going to be you know, your win streak is not going to be like 200 divided, or however many units you have, divided by 3. Because here's the thing, not every single unit in this game can beat the legendary arenas, right? I mean, like, you're not going to go in with a team of like, you know, Whitney, Grant, and I don't know, Janine. You're not going to bring these 3 in and then expect to clear a legendary arena, because again, once you start using up all your stronger units, it gets a bit tougher, right? It gets a bit tougher. So you have to strategically plan these out. In my opinion, right, what I think is probably going to be the bottleneck for a lot of people is your supports, right? I think the Legendary Gauntlet, most players, I'm not saying all, but most players, you're only probably going to go as far as your supports can take you. For a few reasons. First of all, supports are the least of the 3 types, right? There's only, again, there's like one more, or a few more BP, you know, supports that, again, I don't have. There's 40 something odd supports. There's way more attacks and way more strikers, right? So again, you know, once you're out of supports, I think you're generally out of runs. You could still, it's still possible. I'm not saying you can't do runs. You can still do runs with, you know, a tech that could tank a bit, because there's a few techs that could tank, and then, you know, maybe a few strikers or techs that could also buff. Like, for example, Dawnberry, right? Palatine's Dawn could help, you know, support a bit, you know, buff your attack, special attack for some certain units. For example, Classic Blue can buff crit for your whole team, right? They're not supports, but generally, you're mostly just going to go as far as your supports can take you. Right, and I think in this place, you know, it does kind of make supports the biggest deal, right, in these gauntlets. So in terms of how to maximize your wins, here's what I think, right? You probably shouldn't just bring your strongest team together and then just run over the stage. Like, you're not gonna go ahead and just run a team of Singsu, Blastoise, Kyogre, and May and run through the stage. I think that's a losing strategy. You're gonna win that battle, but I think in the end it's gonna harm your win streak, because look at those 3 units. Kyogre, fantastic damage dealer, right? May, a great damage dealer and a rain setter and could also tank. And Singsu Blue, fantastic support, who could also do some damage, can tank as well. Well, you got 3 very good units, and then you're putting them into one team instead, where you could take those 3 units individually, take them out, and turn it into 3 teams, with each one of them carrying, you know, slightly weaker units. So instead of 1 clear with those 3 units, you could get 3 different clears with it. So what I'm trying to say is, I think it's probably better to make bad teams, intentionally bad teams, with like 1 or maybe 2 better units to help carry, so you can maximize your amount of clears. Because again, at the end of the day, it's not about clearing a stage in Legendary Arena, it's clearing as many stages as you can with the limited amount of units you have, right? So in my opinion, what teams you should probably be building is strong strikers with weak supports and strong supports with weak strikers or damage dealers, right? I think most teams are going to be composed of 1 support and 2 damage dealers, right? Because again, the damage dealers, right? Tech and, you know, just me personally, again, I don't know what, you know, all your boxes conditions are, but just me personally, I have 178 techs plus damage dealers, right? Or techs plus strikers, which is generally damage dealers. Not all techs are damage dealers, right? I'd say most, if not all, strikers are I'd say like solid 90% of strikers are damage dealers. And I'd say, you know, a decent amount of techs are damage dealers as well, right? So most of the time, I think you should probably be running 1 support with 2, again, damage dealers, right? Because again, there's just so many more damage dealers than there are supports. Also, another consideration would be for certain stages where you have to do certain things to the opponent. For example, the upcoming one, we're having Entei, Cobalion, and Azalf, right? For example, in Cobalion stage, you have to status them, right, to actually be effective against them, whether it be burn, paralysis, right? So maybe in versus Cobalion specifically, you go with a support, a DPS, right, striker, and then maybe a tech unit that could status the opponent, and also give you a nuke, right? Where you could DPS with your striker, nuke with your tech unit, right? Because most tech units are just straight up better, nukers than, not all of them, but like most of them are just better nukers than your strikers, right? And then you get a support in there, again, whether to tank, sometimes the tech can tank as well, depending on the tech. Where you have the support, take some hits, help obviously buff your team stats. Obviously you have to pick supports that could buff, both damage dealer stats, right? So you have to pick again the correct supports. If your main damage dealer is physical, you should pick a physical support, and then your tech unit should also generally be physical as well, right? Again, just to give add in for much more support over there, right? For example, Azalf is the physical, one gauge is weak to physical moves, the other, or a bar, I guess, HP bar. One HP bar is weak to physical, one HP bar is weak to special. Then in those cases, maybe you bring either units that could deal both physical and special damage, like, for example, regular Luzmine Pheromosa, where you can lunge, which is physical, Bug Buzz is special, Blizzard special, right? Or Classic Blue, which has special Hyper Beam, physical, whatever it was again. Stone Edge, was it Stone Edge Rock Slide? Anyways, you get my point, right? Regardless of what it was. I don't know why I'm not remembering right now, but anyways, we're looking at text. What was it? Not Ancient Power. Oh, no. It's Rock Shift Double Edge. Yeah. Rock Shift Double Edge doesn't take damage from that. So, yeah, that's one way you could go at, or you could go with a damage dealer that's physical, and then you could throw in a special one. Obviously, the challenge with that one is you'd need to bring a support that could buff both physical and special, right? So that's, again, certain legendary arenas, they have their certain things. That's how there's certain gimmicks you have to build your team around that as well. But again, generally, in my opinion, the philosophy is strong damage dealers, weak supports, strong damage dealers, and just to maximize your amount of clears that you could get over there, right? Or for example, in terms of damage deals, right? If you're bringing like a really strong DPS unit, like a I don't know what's a good, like Lance and Dragonite, very good DPS. You should make sure that your tech is, you could chill on the damage on your tech, right? Your tech maybe doesn't have to do that much DPS, but make sure it has good nuke at least, right? And then in that case, your support, again, depending on what you have, although Lance is a bit tough for supports though, right? Just because he needs a lot, but maybe that's not a good example, but you have to construct it so that you always have something going for you, right? In terms of consistent damage and units that could survive. For example, do not waste your Hilberts, your Sabrinas, your Sonias, right? Don't waste those units that could buff, these crit, attack, special attack. Don't waste them on units that can generally max out all their stuff, right? For example, Anniversary Lily. If you're gonna bring Anniversary Lily, really decent unit against it, right? You have the passive, well, not passive. You have Moongeist Beam that could go through the opponent's passive skills that have damage reduction, all that stuff, right? The other great thing about Anniversary Lily, you also have the this one move that maxes out all your stats. So when you're looking for support for Anniversary Lily, right, do not waste your top tier offensive supports with her, right? Don't waste them with her. Make sure you throw in either just purely defensive supports or just lower tier supports, right? Like unironically Marlin, Charon, like those are the kind of supports you want to use with Lily. I see a lot of people talking about trying to like solo these stages, right? Oh, you know, NADX could solo. I don't see the point in soloing, because here's the thing. You might look at this and say, well, again, I have 200 units. I'm gonna get whatever that is divided by 3, 66 clears maybe. What's 200 divided by 3, man? Oh yeah, 66. I'm gonna get 66 clears in because I have not 200 units. Again, that's not happening. That is not happening. There is, in my opinion, absolutely no reason why you should solo a stage. There's no reason why you should solo a stage for a few factors. First of all, you want to be grinding this, right? So you want to get these through as fast as you can, right? You don't want to spend, because the thing with soloing stages is, yes, you could do it, but a lot of them is a lot of RNG. For example, again, Nate, when to fly, right? So you could dodge the opponent's attack. Sometimes you need a bit of evasion RNG to make it happen. I think instead of trying to solo stages, just throw in, like, even if that unit can definitely solo a stage, which, you know, there are units that could do it, there's just no point in doing that, because again, you're not going to be using up all your 200 units. Like, you should rather, right, just make it quicker, make the process quicker, right? Just throw in 2 fodder units, even again, if you're confident enough the unit could solo it, but there's just no point not throwing in 2 more fodder units. For example, again, if you think, like, you know, Nate could solo a stage, no point not also throwing in, like, you know, just complete fodder units like a Norman or a Pincer, right? There's no point not using them. They could tank a few extra hits for you. They could give you much faster sync move countdown, right? Because you're queuing up, again, 3 moves per turn versus just 1. So I personally don't think soloing is very a legitimate method, because again, it takes a lot of time, and it's just rather, most of the time, right? It's probably better just to save that, just throw in the units and just get the run done with, and then you could reset again, do it again, because again, it's not because up to a point, right, it becomes not really worth getting more clears rather than just resetting and just doing it again, so you could get faster clears and again get the drop rates for the lucky cookies going, right? Obviously not talking about completion wars, just the lucky skill, lucky cookie drops, right? Another really low-key good thing that you could take advantage of is Eggmons. If you're wondering what the heck, Eggmons suck, right? True, they are terrible. However, again, when we're doing stuff like these, we need as many teams as we can to contribute to the most amount of wins. And the issue that we brought forth before was that there are too many strikers and too many techs, not enough supports. However, what you can do is you could use support Eggmons. Support Eggmons are generally some of the best Eggmons, right? First of all, obviously there are some Eggmons that are kind of support Eggmons that are not that good. But that being said, for example, right, if you're using a very good striker, you could use a, you know, crappier support Eggmon to either take a few hits, just you know, top off some of the stats, right? For example, this Sandshoe, not that great of a unit overall, right? Obviously, you don't want to throw it in with, you know, 1 stars, all that stuff, but it can still buff your speed, right? It can still give you +2 attack. So if your striker has already +4 attack, max crit, then you can throw this guy in there, right? Top off the extra bit of attack, and again, that's an extra fodder, right? I think there's around 50 something odd Eggmons, right? So you get an extra around 50 supports, which then again helps it obviously a much more to alleviate some of the team comp issues, right? Because again, we just don't have that many supports, right? And again, not all of them are great, not all of them great. So yeah, again, like stuff like Marlin, right? Marlin, Charon, they definitely have their uses for Legendary Arena. I'm not saying they're bad. I think they are definitely better in Legendary Arena. Again, just like Marlin, Charon, they're definitely better than in Legendary Arena than they are in Master Mode, because you know, being defensive healing supports, it goes a long way in Legendary Arenas, right? Stuff like Marley could actually be pretty useful with the status shield, right? X speed, all that stuff. So take advantage of your support Eggmons, right? Do not throw support Eggmons away, right? I mean, if there's dupes, then you can throw them away. Because the thing is, if you're in the middle of a challenge, you can't like switch out. Like you can't just Oh, I have like, because support Mankey's fantastic, right? It has crit buffs, has attack and speed buffs. This guy's fantastic, and could also you know, a 1 gauge spam on karate chop, brick break if you need that, all that stuff. First aid 2 health healing. Like, this guy's very, very, very good, among the best support Eggmons. What you can't do is like have like 5 of these support Mankeys and they just cycle through them. You can't do that. You can only use one. But you could use multiple Eggmons. Again, this is not 100% confirmed, but you could use multiple Eggmons in regular Legendary Arena, so I wouldn't see why you can't do it in the Gauntlet, right? So yeah, make sure to get your support Eggmons, get your 3 passive support Eggmons, right? Even some of the weaker ones could still definitely be useful, right? You know, power them up to at least 3-star, maybe tank a bit better, level them up a bit, right? And they should definitely help. Again, you're probably not going to be running your support Eggmons with your weaker strikers, but more so with the, you know, maybe stronger striker. Although again, there are some really, really nice support Eggmons. You get stuff like the Dratini, right? Crit buffs, special attack and speed buffs, right? The Charizard's not terrible either. You got speed buffs, special attack buffs. There's a lot of decent ones. But yeah, they could definitely be helpful in building these kinds of team comps, because again, you need more clears. You need a lot of clears. So you just don't always just throw all your strong units into like one team, right? For example, I tried yesterday, right? I just threw in, I ran a team comp of something like, for example, I was just trying it against Latios, right? And obviously Latios is not the one we're facing, but I was trying it out. Leon, Singsu Leon, very, very powerful striker, right? So I paired him up with, you know, probably one of the better ones against this specific Legendary Arena, right? So I just threw him in with Norman, and a random like support Eggmon. I think it was Grimer. I want to say it's Grimer. Yeah, something like that. And I had Norman Tank. Norman Tank's a bit better. Look at those. Almost 200 defenses, almost 700 HP. You have heals on this, like, honestly. So, like, you're saying, wow, this team sucks. Yeah, that's the point, right? Your striker, very, very good. Could generally carry you through the stage. You just need a few more supports in there to take hits, take some turns, right? Maybe not Grimer. Yeah, I don't think it's Grimer. But anyways, it was just some, like, really bad, like, fodder, you know, support that you could throw in there, and then you could do the opposite, where you have relatively weaker damage dealers with very, very powerful supports, right? And again, the most powerful supports in Legendary Arenas are just going to be the ones that are built for longer battles, right? For example, Caitlin's going to be very, very good. Fall Caitlin's going to be very, very good in the Legendary Arena. Units like Xerneas, obviously, right? Leaf is going to be good as well, right? Just a lot of these, and obviously your regular good supports are still going to probably be good as well, just to make sure you could keep everyone alive and all that stuff. So anyways, yeah, that's maybe this one, I think, unless I think of anything else last second. But just a very, very early, I guess, preparation guide for the Legendary Gauntlet. So oh, if you're wondering, well, you know, is it Eggmons, is it just supports? I'd say generally yes. There are some tech Eggmons that could be useful. There are some damage deals that are decent, but generally, I really can't think of like a damage dealer Eggmon that's really, really worth running over just your regular your regular damage. I'm sure there's like one or two, but like again, most of the time I just mostly save the Eggmons for support, because again, the support Eggmons are definitely solid and could definitely be helpful. There's a few tech ones that could be helpful. Maybe the Blastoise could set you Rain for an extra, you know, Rain unit in there, maybe, right? Maybe for like certain stages that need, like, for example, paralysis or whatever. Is it him? Yeah, you could Thunder Wave it, right? For example, like Cobalion, you could Thunder Wave it with the. There's a few ones that you could status, again, you know, that helps. Stun Spore over here, right? Stun Spore Screech, honestly pretty good. There's like a few techs, but like, you know, I'd say most of you guys should probably just save most of your Eggmon uses for supports, right? Because again, like, for example, you can't use both support and striker Mankey. You could only use one of each kind of of Eggmon, but you can use, you know, support Mankey and then use support Charizard or whatever, right? Again, all depends on team comps, all depends on situation, right? So there's definitely solid amount of them that could definitely work, right? And then like some special like damage dealers and tags, right? That could also sort of act like supports, like for example, like we mentioned before, the blue with Dire Hit all plus, right? And you know, all creamy as a tank or as a tech that could buff teams. Attack, special attack, also debuff the opponent, as well as give gradual heals, all that stuff. Make sure to make use of those units very well too, right? Because you know, again, those units are, I'd say, very valuable, right? So yeah, just make sure you just plan out your teams, right? Again, strong damage dealer, weak supports, strong supports, weaker damage dealers, right? Basically, not to the point that where you can't clear a stage though. You still have to make sure you clear the stage. So don't go around doing, again, stupid stuff like, oh yeah, I'm gonna save my, you know, units. I'm gonna run like Flannery, Jasmine, and Voltorb, right? I'm not saying that I can't win. It might beat like Cobalion, but like it was just like an example. Just you don't have to go like that down bad to use, like, you could still, you know, sneak in a good unit here and there in every comp just to make sure you win, right? So yeah, that's what this one. Hope you all enjoyed, guys. Think of the comments down below. Like, share this video, subscribe to our channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. I'm personally really excited for the Legendary Gauntlet. Again, it comes out in around 20 days or so. So again, this is a way too early preparation guide, but hopefully it helps. And again, do keep in mind we don't know 100% of the details until the thing actually launches. So have fun, folks. I'll see you guys in the next one.